Title: The Beaver of Big Timber Creek. A story about realistic deadlines. Part 1. Ethan's always in a hurry workshop. In the small town of Red Maple, Oregon, a young man named Ethan owned a little furniture shop called Creekside Custom Tables. He loved to say, "We'll build it faster than anyone." So he did. Promised big orders in very short time. Told customers, "Yeah, we can do that by next week." Even when it was impossible. Pushed his workers to stay late almost every night. What happened? Some tables came out wobbly. The paint and finish were sometimes still sticky. A restaurant in Portland complained, "If this happens again, we'll have to find someone else." Ethan was scared he'd lose his business. His grandpa, Tom, came to visit from Bend, Oregon. Tom had spent his life building things like bridges and schools. Ethan said, "Grandpa, I have to move fast or I'll lose customers." Tom replied, "Tomorrow, we're going to Big Timber Creek near MT. Hood, there's someone there you need to meet. A beaver who understands deadlines better than most bosses." Part 2. Brutus the Beaver and the Strong Dam. The next day, they walked along Big Timber Creek in the MT. Hood National Forest. They saw a big beaver dam across the creek. Behind it, the water was deep and calm. In front, the water rushed and splashed over rocks. A large old beaver named Brutus was slowly packing mud into the dam and moving small logs into place. On the bank above, a young beaver named Chip laughed with his friends. "Hey, Brutus." Chip shouted, "You're still working on that same old dam? My cousin built a bigger dam in half the time." Brutus didn't rush. He kept pressing mud into a gap. "Your cousin's dam washed away last spring," he said. "Twice." Chip shrugged. "Yeah, but it looked amazing at first," he bragged. Brutus swam closer to Ethan and Tom. "A dam that falls apart in the first flood isn't a success," he said. "I build slow enough so it stays standing when the water gets wild." Tom leaned over to Ethan. "You build tables fast," he said quietly. "But do they stay standing?" Ethan didn't answer. Part 3. Daisy the Squirrel and the Nut Piles. A little farther up the trail, they saw a gray squirrel named Daisy carrying acorns. She chose a few good spots, dug small holes, put a few nuts in each, covered them carefully. Nearby, another squirrel named Rocket zoomed around like crazy. "Look at me," Rocket shouted. "I'm making so many piles. I'll have more food than anyone." He grabbed a mouthful of nuts, ran, dropped some, tripped, scattered others, then ran off again. Soon there were messy piles everywhere, under logs, next to rocks, by the path. Tom asked Daisy, "Why don't you carry more nuts at once? You'd look faster." Daisy shook her head. "If I try to carry too much, I drop them. If I make too many piles, I forget where they are. I care about how many nuts I can find in winter, not how busy I look now." Tom looked at Ethan. "You start lots of jobs at once and rush all of them," he said. "But how many are really finished right?" Ethan thought of all the half-perfect tables in his shop. Part 4. Scarlet the Hawk and the Perfect Time. They climbed to a rocky lookout. Below, the creek twisted through the forest. Up high, a red-tailed hawk named Scarlet glided in circles. She barely flapped her wings. Sometimes something moved in the grass below, but she stayed calm. Then, suddenly, she tilted her wings, tucked them in, and dived straight down. In seconds, she came back up with a mouse in her claws. Tom said, "She doesn't dive at every little movement. If she did, she'd get tired and crash. She saves her speed for the right moment." He added, "You treat every project like an emergency. You're asking your team to dive all day every day." Ethan watched Scarlet calmly ride the wind. He thought about all the urgent messages he sent at midnight. Part 5. The Storm and the Broken Dam. Clouds rolled in. Rain began to fall, first soft, then heavy. The creek rose. Brown water rushed faster, carrying branches and logs. Brutus's dam shook a little, but held. Water piled up behind it, then flowed slowly over the top. Higher up, they could see another dam, the one Chip had bragged about, built quickly by his cousin. That dam was made of light, badly placed logs, very little mud, and stone holding it together. The angry water slammed into it. At first, it stayed. Then one part gave way. Water burst through, ripping out more logs. In moments, most of the dam was gone. Broken pieces rushed downstream. Chip stared with his mouth open. "But we finished it so fast," he whispered. Brutus called out, "You finished the building, not the job. The job is to keep home safe in a storm. Your schedule ended before the real test." Tom spoke softly to Ethan. "You've been racing to finish projects on paper. But when customers actually use them, they're like that broken dam." Ethan watched the wreckage float past and felt a twist in his chest. Part 6, a new way to set deadlines. When they got back to Red Maple, Ethan looked at his workshop with new eyes. He saw a calendar with way too many promises, tired workers with sore backs and red eyes, tables rushed out the door, not truly complete. He called his team together. "I've been giving crazy deadlines," he said. "I wanted to impress customers, but I've hurt our work and your health. That stops now." His lead carpenter, Maria, raised an eyebrow. "So, no more. We need this done by tomorrow. Surprise messages?" she asked. Ethan nodded. "From now on, we'll set real times. No pretending." They wrote down every step of making a table: design, cutting, joining, sanding, finishing, drying, delivery. Said honestly how long each step took if they did it properly. Added a little extra time for things going wrong. Bad wood, broken tool, sick worker. Counted how many tables they could truly finish well each week. The result? They could do less than Ethan had been promising. "If we tell customers the truth, won't some leave?" asked Jared, a worker. "Maybe," Maria said, "but the ones who stay will trust us." Ethan nodded. "I'd rather be like Brutus and have a dam that stands," he said, "than show off like Chip and watch my work wash away." Part 7. What happened to Creekside tables? Ethan called Caroline, the restaurant manager in Portland. "Caroline," he said, "last time we rushed your tables. That was my fault. For your new order, if we want them strong and fully dry, we need 5 weeks, not 3. If that's too slow, I understand if you go somewhere else. But I won't send you half-finished furniture again." There was a long pause. Then Caroline said, "Send me your plan. If you really deliver what you promised this time, I'll stick with you." Over the next months, Creekside took fewer jobs, but finished them right. They said no to some rush orders that demanded impossible dates. Complaints went down. Their tables got a new reputation. They arrive when they say they will, and they last. One fall day, Tom and Ethan went back to Big Timber Creek. Brutus's dam was still there, strong and steady. Pieces of the other, fast-built dam, lay broken along the shore. Brutus popped up and said, "Still holding." Ethan smiled. "Me too," he said. Back in Red Maple, in the little workshop, workers now went home on time more often. Projects still had deadlines, but they were realistic, not pretend. And slowly, quietly, Creekside custom tables became known not as the fastest, but as the ones you can count on. Lessons learned for 6th graders. Fast isn't always good. Building something super fast, like the Beaver's quick dam or Ethan's rush tables, can look cool at first, but if it breaks or fails, what was the point? Real work includes what happens after. A dam's job is not just to be built. It must hold in storms. A table's job is not just to be delivered. It must stand, not wobble. Your job on homework or projects includes checking, fixing mistakes, and making sure it actually works. You can't do everything at once. Daisy the squirrel made fewer, better food stashes she could find later. If you try to do too many things too fast, you'll drop stuff. Just like Rocket and his scattered nuts, energy is limited. Scarlet the hawk doesn't dive at every tiny movement. She saves her big effort for the best chances. You also can't stay in emergency mode all the time without getting exhausted. Realistic deadlines are honest, not lazy. When Ethan finally told the truth about how long good work takes, his team did better and his customers trusted him more. Saying, "This will take me 2 weeks, not 2 days," can be the smart, brave choice. Ask yourself, when I have homework or a big project, do I start early and give it enough time? Or do I rush at the end and hope it doesn't break? Am I more like Chip's broken dam or Brutus's strong dam? It's okay to work hard. It's okay to move fast sometimes. Just remember, the best builders, beavers, or people Choose deadlines that let their work survive the storm, not just look good on day one.